Hello learners, welcome back to English Hub. Today we will study the beautiful and emotional poem My Mother at 66, written by a famous Indian poet Kamala Das. And this poem is from class 12th book NCERT Flamingo. This poem explores the theme of aging, love, separation, and fear of loss, expressed through the bond between a daughter and her aging mother. Now, before beginning the poem, let us learn little bit about the poet. Kamala Das. Kamala Das was born in the year 1934 and lived till 2009. She was born in Malabar, Kerala. She is recognized as one of the India's foremost poet, memoirist, and short story writer. Known for her bold and honest style, she wrote in both English and Malayalam, and she often used the pen name Madhavi Kutti for her Malayalam work. Her poems often explore love, womanhood, identity, and emotional relationship. She wrote her autobiography My Story, which gained wide recognition, and she is regarded as a pioneer of feminist writing in India. Kamala Das wrote openly about the inner world of women, especially their feeling, desire, and struggles at a time when such topics were considered taboo in Indian society. Because of this, she is regarded as a pioneer of feminist writing in India. Her work include Summer in Calcutta, The Descendants, My Story, that's her autobiography. The poem My Mother at 66 reflects her autobiography style and her sensitivity to relationships, especially the emotional bond between a mother and a daughter and the universal fear of losing loved one. She received numerous awards for her contribution to literature and is remembered as one of the India's most fearless expressive voice. The poem describes a simple journey from the poet's parents' home to the airport, but that journey leads the poet to a painful realization, a realization that her mother is aging and she might not live long. Now let us see the poem. Here, the poet says, driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doze, open mouthed, her face ashen like that of corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young tree sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her. When, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear, but all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was a smile and smile and smile. So this is one of the most emotional poem, and here the poet has expressed her feeling about her fear of losing her loved one. Sprinting means short, fast racing, running, race running, and van means colorless. Now let us see line by line explanation of the poem. As the poem begins, the poet is driving to the airport with her mother. Her mother is sitting beside her, dozing with her mouth open. The poet noticed that her mother's face looked pale, weak, lifeless, almost like a corpse. This frightens her because she suddenly becomes aware of her mother's old age. To distract herself from the thought of death and separation, the poet turns her attention outside the window. She sees young trees sprinting and children running out of their homes to play. These images represents life, energy, youth and hope, forming a strong contrast to her mother's old age, stillness and fading life. When they reach the airport, the poet looks at her mother again. She still appears pale and worn out, like a late winter's moon, dim, fragile, and fading. The poet feels the same childhood fear returning, the fear of losing her mother forever. But instead of showing sadness, she smiles and says, "See you soon, Amma." She tries to hide her pain behind her smile, giving hope instead of grief. So, this was a very simple yet emotional and meaningful poem that tells us about that our loved one will go away with the duration of the time. Our fear of losing someone can be seen in the poem. Let us move on towards the themes of this poem. The main themes that can be seen is aging, fear of loss, love and bond, and contrast between youth and old age. The poet beautifully shows that nothing can stop old aging, and a fear of losing mother can also be seen. The mother and daughter emotional connection is expressed in the poem very beautifully. The poet also tells us about the contrast of youth and old age, that how the poet sees her mother in the old age, that how young trees, children are being compared together with the old mother. Important symbolisms are corpse-like face, which shows approaching death, trees sprinting, which shows energy, life, children playing, youth, hope, future can be seen, and winter moon shows the fading of life, weakness. Smile and see you soon is an attempt of optimism. Positivity can be seen. Now let us see the poetic devices. Here we can see simile. Ashes like a corpse shows a palelessness, fear. Here we see simile like a. Another simile is wan pale as late winter's moon. It shows the symbol of fading life. Repetition can be seen in the last line, smile and smile and smile. It's a forced optimism. Contrast is seen in the poem, and that's about old age and young, old mother versus young children, highlighting aging as the theme. Metaphor can be seen, winter moon, which shows the weak, fragile mother. Imagery, visual description creates a vivid picture. You also can imagine, can have the visual in front of your eyes about your loved ones. The poem conveys that life is short, aging is unavoidable. We must cherish relationship as long as they last. Life is temporary and we must accept the reality of aging and mortality. It also teaches us the value of relationships and cherish our loved ones before time separates us. Mother at 66 beautifully captures the universal fear, losing a parent, losing a mother, in a simple, heartfelt moment. It's a deeply touching poem that captures the universal human emotion, the fear of losing a parent. Through simple images, Kamala Das expresses something very powerful and relatable, something that shows realism, honesty, and deep emotional connection. Thank you for watching the video. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for English literature lessons.